Hi, this is Christopher Ori, TOSA for Los Gatos Saratoga Union High School District, and this is episode 2 of the very occasional podcast of One Cool Thing stories. One cool thing is this idea that we've all experienced where we see somebody who does something that really shocks us and really surprises us, and we decide at that moment, hey, I got to learn everything I can about that and try to implement that in my class or my situation right away. And part of One Cool Thing is also celebrating the great things that we do, the cool things that we do, in hopes that others may be inspired by that and be able to apply that into their own context. And so this episode is an interview with Lindsay Harris, who is a classified teacher at Saratoga High, classified staff member at Saratoga High, and she coordinates the Testing and Learning Center. And so she has a great example of One Cool Thing in action as she saw the use of Google Forms and then decided to apply that to a position that frankly gets a lot of data and a lot of juggling of tests and students, and she's just really brought a lot of order to the chaos. And so this is a short interview with her that shares a little bit about her and how she brought a little bit of order and transparency and also student accountability in her context. And so hopefully, maybe it might even be a One Cool Thing moment for you that might help you realize how you might use Google Forms in your own context. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy. So I'm here with Lindsay Harris.
Hello.
Welcome. We're in the staff lounge, so we're going to have people going in and out during tutorial. So forgive the distractions. So Lindsay, can you tell me a little bit about your learning journey, how you got to Saratoga?
Well, I was looking for a job after my parents moved to Minnesota. I was working for my dad, and I put in an application. Forgot I put the application in, and 3 months later, I got it. Email, and I was just like, oh, I forgot about this. And so I originally started in the office only working 4 hours a day, and then they needed someone with a little more health experience. They transferred me to the district office. I was working under the special education supervisor, so I think it was Carrie at the time, and still 4 hours, and then a job opened for the CBI program at the college. So I took that job, and it was 6 hours. So I was, trying to get more hours, and that's when I fell in love with special education. To be honest, I'd never had any experience. I coached basketball and worked with kids, but never had experience with the special ed world, and I loved it. And then the opportunity came for me to come over to Saratoga, and through my learning journey, I graduated from college late. I just got my degree, I think, 2 years ago. I've been interested in trying to figure out where I fit. And so every time a job opens, I take it just so I can try new things. Mm-hmm. And so last year the TLC job opened, and I was interested in it, so I applied and got that job. And so that's what I've been doing. And so through that, even my passion for learning has kind of matured, and I'm now getting my master's degree in organizational leadership to do what I've been doing in the TLC and beyond, hopefully. So when I got in there, I noticed everything was still on paper, and things were a bit not as updated as I would like. So that I saw that need that we needed things to be fully transparent. Mm-hmm. And so all the teachers are on the same page, I'm on the same page, the students are on the same page, and we also make the students advocate for themselves.
We should probably pause and just say a little bit, can you describe what the TLC is and how it works?
So any student that has a IEP accommodation that says they can take a test in a separate setting comes to the TLC to take their test. Not just their test, it could be a writing assignment or something on the computer. If they need area that is quieter than the classroom, they'll come to the TLC and do that. And so previously the sign-in was on a piece of paper. I changed that to a Google form that, has the report behind it. And it's helped me a couple of times. Teachers are asking, hey, did this student come and take their test? Now I'm able to just go into the form or into the report as opposed to flipping through paper. So it's a lot more helpful.
So kids come in, you have a computer right there by the door, they complete a form, just name,
Name,
kind of the time.
well, the timestamp is already there, which was cool. So I had that added at first, and I was like, I don't need both of them. And so it's just the name, teacher, period. And that's it. And they sign in and sign out the same way.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And so have you been using that to even like look at data and usage, or is that something you have planned that maybe later on you could be able to track
Someone
and show?
asked me for that data just to see how many kids were coming in and out, so I was able to send it to 2 teachers already. And I give teachers access to it too. So I heard one issue, and if I can rewind, when I first started the job, I sent out a form asking all the teachers, what are things that worked, what needed to be improved, and their ideas. And one issue that they had is kids would leave the TLC and take like 15, 20 minutes to get back to class. So now that teachers have access to that, we're able to kind of check like, hey, he left here at this time. It shouldn't have taken them 30 minutes to get back to class.
Right.
So that's kind of a cool, full transparency thing that I've.
And have you found that kids are now heading straight to
Yes.
class because they know
Mm-hmm.
gigs up, there's
Yep.
accountability?
Yep. Or if a teacher's asking, hey, did they come take their test? I'm able to just pull it up quickly as opposed to looking through the paper. So
Yeah, that's great. Do you see any other opportunities like in the future how you could use Google Forms to collect more information, or other ideas that are kind of stirring around?
well, one thing I'd like to do is have a separate sign in, sign out. And I think that'll make it a lot more organized for the report because, and the student doesn't have to type in the same thing. Because right now when I look at the report, it says the student's name twice in that period. So I have to kind of look through and sort. But other than that, no. But I also turned the what's it called, when you ask the teacher if they have a test, I put that on a form as well. And I put it in the email because I know that teachers like things right there in front of them.
Right.
And so that's been really helpful too. And then what else and then I just recently made a sign out sheet for the envelopes. At the beginning of the school year, a test got misplaced and we were looking for it for maybe a week or longer than a week, and we stopped looking for it. It ended up being in someone's folder in the office, so it was kind of a fluke. But I did a Google form for the sign out and shared that with the teacher so they know exactly when their folder was given back to them. And so that saved me a couple of times too, because teachers have been like, hey, I can't find this, and I'm able to, from my desk, say, here, I turned it in yesterday at 2. It's out of my hands after that.
Right. Yeah, that's really helpful. Now, in that initial email you send out with them, the form, so they're identifying a student, the date, time period, and then are they also including, because I haven't had to do it this year, but are they including, say, their accommodations? Like, do they get a note card or something like that?
So teachers do it a few different ways. Some teachers will put each student's name in the note section of the form and tell me how much time they have, and any notes. Some teachers will still leave it in the envelope for me, and so I'm able to see it that way. Okay. So I'm okay with either way as long as I have that information.
Yeah. I'm wondering if, thinking about that sign-in, specifically the sign out, if there would be an opportunity for kids to even write like a quick like reflection, like how that went, was the time that they had adequate, or any sort of anecdotal stuff that,
even if it's just once a week or something like that, if they feel like writing. And so I do ask the students too in there, what can I do to help you guys in here, because these kids are very stressed when they come in there. I have students that will know the work and be like, I'm going to be sick, and they have to. It's just hard to see sometimes. So I will ask them like, hey, what can I do better, or what can I do what can I do to help? And one girl was like, when I fill out the sign-in sheet, I don't know, I forget what period we're in. So I like took paper and cardboard, made a little flip chart thing that sits right in between the computers, and so that they know exactly when, or exactly what period is. And then I also got a digital clock, just because I know that that's sometimes an issue with students also. So we got a digital clock in there so they can, keep their manage their time.
Yeah. Well, I've heard nothing but great things about how you've transformed the TLC this year, and I think it's a great example. One cool thing is all about this idea of you see somebody doing something in one place, and you can say, "Oh, I got to try that. I can apply that in my own setting." And it seems to me like you saw forms being used somewhere else. That hey, I could solve this problem I'm seeing right now with forms, and you've done that. And now I'd love for others to hear about this and think about how they could actually apply forms, and sometimes even the most nuanced way I use in my TOSA role. I can just share really quick. Every time I meet with a teacher or go to a meeting or whatever, I have a form that I just fill out myself. Here's what I did, and I have little check boxes of what kind of work it was and who I worked with and the time, and then I can then go to that form and that spreadsheet and be able to track how I'm spending my time, where I'm spending my time, what kinds of work I'm spending my time on. So forms are such a powerful tool.
They are.
That we can use for our own accountability, our own data tracking, and collecting information. So
yeah, and the last thing I just forgot, I'm working on. I made a form for the finals also.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this.
Yeah, so I'm collecting data right now from that. And so, but I remember last year how stressed the kids were. There was one long line and they were stressed waiting for their test. So I'm trying to figure out how to separate that and have maybe three different check-in places. One will have like math and science. The other one will be English and history. The other one miscellaneous. So if they're going to go to separate places, so the line will go quicker and they can start their test faster. So that's what I'm working on now. I do think that I need more, whether it's a workshop or something like that to help me be more use forms more. I guess you can say, but that's it's been fun. It's been really fun, and at the end of the day, I want to make life easy for myself and for the teachers and for the students. So
yeah,
any way that I can do that,
streamline process, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, we often talk about like technology and how it's beneficial for students, and preparing them for 21st century, that sort of thing. But fundamentally, like, technology should be used in helping us be more productive and more efficient.
Yes.
And it's best when it's not about the technology, it's about what we're actually focusing on.
Exactly.
And whether that's in the classroom or in this way, it's like you're streamlining a process so that you can spend less time sorting papers and dealing with all that, more time helping the students or doing what they do.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So it's a great story, and we can meet further to figure out other ways we can apply. So
that would be helpful.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're
I think this
welcome.
is really beneficial.
You're very welcome.
Cool.